Hello and welcome back to Enchant the World All the Mods 9 Magic Mods. Last episode we looked into growing crops and developed the colony a little bit. Check out the Whirly Sprig farm now. We've put down loads more seeds and decorated it a bit, and this place looks really hustling and bustling, and also it's generating loads and loads and loads and loads of crops for us. The question we have now is, what are we going to be doing with all that food? And that's why I've prepared an area over here, which we're going to be calling Hell's Kitchen, because yeah, we're down in the crypt, we've got demons everywhere. We want to explore this episode all the different ways to cook some amazing new foods, like Farmer's Delight, cooking for blockheads, and I'm sure there's other ways to cook food. Every time we eat a certain amount of foods, I think 10 different types of foods, we get extra hearts, which means extra health. And that's going to be really big and important on our journey to become amazing wizards. So let's jump in. So my friends, here we go. The time has come to develop a little kitchen. Now, our demonic wife actually functions as a way of cooking food, quite effectively as well. But the first thing we're going to do is start building a kitchen. Now, to build a kitchen, we're going to go with a cooking for blockheads kitchen. To start with, it's pretty simple at cooking. And yeah, the whole thing is a giant multi-block structure. You make the floor out of these kitchen floor blocks, put the oven and sink, fridge, all of those other things on top of the floor, and it creates a multi-block structure. You can also store all your food in things like the fridge, the cupboards, the counters. Now we're going to be going for a red kitchen floor because, well, why not? It's very demonic, very evil. I think the color red just leans towards all that kind of stuff. It's the color of blood after all. So we're going to need some blocks of coal and some, blocks of quartz. Those are two super easy to get things to make our kitchen floor. Now, I'm fairly sure I've got some coal in the computer. It's something that I probably wouldn't have used too much of. Oh my god, yeah, look at this. Loads and loads of coal. Then mix and match like this. We get kitchen floor. Now, I think... oh my god. Oh, well, we're not going to need this much. I might regret that later on. Oh my god, my finger slipped. But it's okay. We're going to turn some of this now into red stuff and get it on the floor. So a bunch of kitchen floor, some red dye in the middle, and bam, 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 bam. 40 blocks should see us straight. So we're going to replace this wooden spruce plank floor here we have with the kitchen floor. Let's do it. There we go. Doesn't that look pretty demonic? Hell's Kitchen is coming up. So now it's time to start thinking about the machines we're going to need in our kitchen. So an oven for one, a toaster, a cooking table's very important, a sink, a fridge, kitchen counters, kitchen cabinets maybe, and of course fruit baskets, spice racks, tool racks, the rest of it. Now the main component in most of these things is terracotta, and unfortunately it can't be a colored terracotta. It has to be basic undyed terracotta. So we're going to have to find this in the form of clay and turn it into these kitchen counters. But we've got loads of all of the things we need for this. We should be able to get a nice selection of utilities. The kitchen itself is a really smart mod. It's basically a big computer that stores all the food and automatically works out what you can cook, what meals you can make, and how you can prepare it using the blocks that are around. But anyway, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves because I don't know if I can make any terracotta. The only terracotta that I have is dyed. So what about clay? We've got no clay whatsoever. No way, that can't be right. Well, do you know what? Clay is pretty easy to get. I think we're going to go wormhole mining in a watery, rivery area. So we're going to put the Geomancer set back on because I really do need all of the mana this is going to give me to do a bit of wormhole mining. Now I'm also going to need a jar of voiding so that I can void what I don't need. And let's go see if we can gather some clay using the magic of wormholes. And let's just mage leap to a biome where there's loads and loads and loads of water. Yeah, over here. This looks like it's going to have lots and lots of clay on the bed of the river. And it's pretty far away from base, so we don't need to worry about messing it up too much. So let's fire off this wand and see what we gather from the river. Oh, yeah, that looked like a good haul. And when we go to our backpack, we can see... wait, was it a good haul? Where's the clay? Oh, yeah, look at this. Loads and loads of clay. So 27 clay. Do it again a couple of times. 37 clay, so we're getting there. We're also getting a lot of other stuff like saltpeter, copper, aluminium, whatever. We're going to see if we can aim this at some clay. Now, actually, it's a good time to use the broom to fly around and see if we can, scout out some clay. Probably loads on the surface, but you go much below the surface and there's not much clay. There we go, that looks like clay to me. There's some clay. There's some clay. Okay, yeah, 64 clay blocks is a decent place to get us started. Let's teleport back home, using, of course, my stabilized warp scroll. Oh wait, hang on a sec. I totally forgot about my dimensional mine shaft. Let's see how many materials this thing has gotten now. I think it's been used up. Yeah, completely spent. But this is pretty exciting. So we've gotten some ancient debris. Oh my god. We've also got 4 unobtainium nuggets, 5 vibranium nuggets, and 10 allthemodium nuggets, enough to make an allthemodium ingot. That's crazy. And that's good because you can use this to actually get to the mining dimension. Yeah, 4 of these in an ender pearl gets you a teleport pad that will take you to the mining dimension. There's also the other and the beyond. Those look like pretty interesting places where we can go and test out our magic. We can also maybe start to upgrade some of our things into allthemodium versions, although there's nothing really magical you can do with allthemodium nuggets. It's all really focused around tech, like jetpacks, things like that. Yeah, there's no real use for it in any of the magic mods, so we can kind of leave it be, but oh my god, allthemodium, that's pretty exciting. So we're going to toss the clay into, there we go, our smeltatron. Black stained glass into there you go, and then that should be all we need to make the oven. Very cool. Next up we're going to want, I guess, the fridge. Fridge is pretty important. So an iron door. And boom. Now we make 2 fridges because you can kind of stack these to make a big American-style double fridge. We're also going to need the cooking table. That's very essential. So let's make these kitchen cabinets and things and spread them around, get this kitchen looking good. So here we go, sometime later, and we have our Cooking for Blockheads kitchen. It's looking very functional with a toaster, fruit basket, loads of cabinets, an oven, the cooking table where we actually make the food, a kitchen sink. We put a cow in a jar by squashing it in there with an anvil, and that's going to get us unlimited milk, and also a fridge, some cabinets, and some spice racks. But it looks very ugly, and it doesn't match the theme of our kitchen. That's why we're going into the computer to get some dye. Now we want, I think, some red dye, for sure. So we'll get some poppies, got loads of those thanks to our iron farm. And we're going to use some of these ink sacs, luckily we've got a squid on farm as well, to make some black dye as well. Because we're going to paint the cabinets black with this black dye. Oh, that looks amazing. I love it. And then we're going to accent that with some red on the fridge. Oh yeah, now do we want the sink to be red as well? No, because red just looks a bit too much like brown. There we go, some black cabinets up here as well, looking very swish. Now you can't paint things like the tool rack. What about the toaster though? Can the toaster be red? No, that's a shame. I wouldn't have minded a red toaster. But for all intents and purposes, this kitchen is pretty much finished. There's a couple of things we can do to also improve the kitchen. Number one, the oven can have a power source instead of having to burn coal. It's a good way of doing things if you use technology, but because we're pure magic, we're just going to be using the magic of coal. Oh yeah, good old coal. And we'll slip that into the cooking section. Yeah, that should keep us going until the end of time. Now we're also going to need some pots and pans. These go on the cooking oven and they're used to create some of the recipes. But if we go over to Farmer's Delight, yeah, now this mod actually does have some pretty essential tools we're going to need. There's a cooking pot here, and a skillet, and a cutting board. So we're going to get these crafted up as well. They're very easy crafts. So I don't imagine us having too many troubles with this. Just a wooden shovel and a bucket which we can fill with water ourselves. Thanks to the sink. There we go. So we have ourselves now a cooking pot and a skillet from Farmer's Delight. This is where things get confusing because these things need to be used on top of actual hot fire. Now, I'm thinking maybe there's a quest for this. This is a pretty integral part to, I don't know, getting around, doing stuff. So is there a section for food in the quests? Oh no, here we go. Resources, food and farming. Ah, yes. This is what I'm talking about. This entire section is made for us. We've got that. Made ourselves a market. Thank you very much for those amazing rewards. So here we go. This is what the game is pushing us towards. We made a kitchen with a book. Thank you very much. We turned that into a better book. Let's get a diamond back. Now there is one quest here that's pretty important that we haven't actually done, and that is the ice maker. Basically putting an ice unit in a fridge gives you snow and ice on call for things like smoothies and recipes that require ice. Oh, and also, of course, ice cream. So can we make one of those? Yeah, for sure. How could we not make one of those? We'll need a redstone comparator. But yeah, otherwise, we got all the bits. Glad I picked up those extra snowballs when we went looking for snow. So we go to the fridge, right-click, and it upgrades the fridge with an ice unit. Very cool. So the kitchen is fully kitted out. We got all of the pieces we need, except of course the skillet and the cooking pot. So how do they work? So let's take another look at the Farmer's Delight mod. So there's some pretty impressive recipes down here, and you need to use the skillet. No, do you know what? Yeah, here we go. So let's say, for example, we want to make pasta with mutton chop. We're going to need cooking from Farmer's Delight. So the cooking pot goes on top of an open fire. You put the materials in, wait a little bit of time, and then it makes the dish. So that's something we can definitely do. We're going to need a campfire, I believe. There are other ways you can do this. I wonder if like a magma block works. We've got magma blocks. Let's try putting the frying pan or the hot pot on top of a magma block. Yeah, it looks like it's boiling. So yeah, that's one way of getting around it. You can use a campfire, or you can just put down a magma block. Yeah, there we go. That looks much, much better, much more discreet, much more hidden. But we're also going to remove this kitchen counter and put the frying pan on that. So we put this down, and there we go. It's on top of the magma block as well, which looks like it functions as a source of heat. Really cool. So with the cooking pot, we can then put stuff in here and get that cooking. So yeah, we've got all the tools of the trade. What we're missing now is, of course, the most important part when you're cooking. It's the actual food. So I'm going to empty my backpack, go over to our new farm, and gather all of those lovely crops that we've been farming. Now, we were getting a lot of crops from this bad boy, so what I've done is I've upgraded the chest back here to be a dark oak netherite chest and given it some diamond tier upgrades. And what that's done is, take a look at this, we've got loads and loads and loads of fresh fruits. So we'll gather up all that we can. Tomatoes, strawberries, sadie root, rice. Oh man, you name it, we've got it over here. Fine pine fruit, winter leaves, apricots. Oh, there's just so much food. This is going to be amazing. Yeah, look at all this food, man. A backpack full of delicious, delicious fruit and veg. Now, what I like to do is at the fruit basket over here, we're going to plonk in just a whole bunch of different kinds of fruit. Because the fruit basket is very visual and it lets you see a lot of the crops that you've gathered. I really like the way it presents the food in a visual style. And yeah, as you can see, look at this, a bowl full of delicious, delicious fruit. If you do run out of space in the fridge though, these kitchen counters also come with storage space, and the kitchen cabinets above, they also work too. So there we go, the fridge is full. We'll put the remainder of the stuff in this kitchen counter. And now, here's a pretty exciting part. So we're going to right click on the cooking table, and this is all of the stuff we can make now. It's not a huge, expansive amount, but it's pretty cool. Baked sweet potato, baked yam, baked beans. Oh wow, you can make baked beans? So the stuff from the garden isn't the only food we have. In the computer, we've also got a whole bunch of wheat. So we'll get that out because it comes in handy as flour. Also, sugarcane. Sugar is used in loads and loads of different types of food. We've got loads of raw beef. Fantastic. And a little bit of raw mutton. And loads of raw chicken as well. Yeah, let's start filling up these cabinets with all of this good stuff. And that'll do for now. Again, we'll put these in some of the cabinets. And this is going to be super fantastic and delicious. So now let's try right click again on the cooking table. And whoa, yeah, this has opened up loads more recipes. Super amazing. So we'll start getting some of these things cooked. We're going to want some of the building blocks for food though as well. Like I said, things like sugar are very essential. But you can also use things like cooked chickens. Is that going to get cooked? Yeah, cooked chickens. Cooked mutton. Cooked rabbit, etc. All of these things are kind of like the building blocks of some of those future dishes. So yeah, let's start cooking some interesting foods. All of this stuff, like steamed broccoli, for example, can make one of those, some steamed green beans. We want to make as many of these things that say it hasn't been eaten yet. What does it taste like? Because that means it contributes towards giving us some hearts. Wait, we need a cooking pot from Croptopia. Ah, so there are things we need to make. Right, I see. So the frying pan, the cooking pot, the all-purpose food press. We are going to need to make some more things, some more tools to get our kitchen up to speed. I did think we needed some more utilities, but that's totally cool. And none of this is super hard to make. The frying pan, dead easy. The cooking pot, even easier. And the frying pan, that could go there. We can put an all-purpose food press in there as well. And I think just them being on the oven means they contribute towards some of the recipes. So yeah, with the cooking pot on the oven now, we can make elderberry jam, which apparently uses the cooking pot. But this food is not nourishing enough to improve your health, and that's important to remember. Things with like less than I think 2 hunger shanks of food don't work as a way to improve your health. So light snacks and light meals just don't cut it. Likewise, fried eggs. Wait, no, hang on a sec. Fried eggs do count. So I guess the cutoff point is 2 shanks. Interesting, good to know. Put the knife on here as well. There we go, a knife on an oven, that's not dangerous at all. Oh, now big mistake, I'll have to turn off auto feeding on my backpack because that was automatically feeding me and I wasn't hungry. Another problem that you have when you're trying to level up your health is the fact that you're not always going to be hungry. You have to work up an appetite. So let's just do some laps. Maybe Albedo knows of any ways we can actually expend some energy and get hungry. Any ideas? Well, no, me neither. Okay, we'll keep running, keep jumping, get ourselves in the mood for food. Now when we eat the steamed green beans, boom, there we go. I made the advancement hearty meal. Eat anything crafted. Wow, I haven't eaten anything crafted until now. Seems a bit weird. But yeah, every time I do this, you'll see these white hearts appear. Man, the problem is as well, this food is so good that it takes us so long to get hungry again. I wish there was a way for us to get hungry. Do you guys know? If you guys know of a way where I can make myself more hungry quicker so I can eat more food in this mod pack, do let me know. So what one way of doing this could be is if I remove the sauceberry pie from here, turn on auto feeding, and what I'm going to do is put one of every type of food inside my backpack. What should happen is automatically, as I'm playing, the game should feed me from the backpack one of these meals that I've prepared. That's a really good way of doing it. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty simple, and that means our goal is going to be to put one of every single type of food that we can into the backpack so we can eat this passively and get those free heart bonuses. Okay, so yeah, fast forward a little bit and look at all of this food we have prepared. This is lying in my backpack. I'll just remove some of the multiples we have in here. And as I go through these, we're going to slowly get more and more hearts. Oh, look at this. Delicious. Man, you know what? Filming this episode has made me really, really, really hungry. Okay, so this has been a pretty sweet look at the kitchen. We've got Hell's Kitchen now. in operation. In fact, we'll get Albedo to come over here, because I think she'd like to hang out in the kitchen. Yeah, maybe. It's a good place to park her, make it look like she's doing something. Come over here. Can we push her in there? Push her at the sink? There we go. Go on there, get in there, do the dishes. Oh my god, I swear, there's no misogyny going on here at all. There we go, perfect. So she can hang out in the kitchen now and cook us food as and when. Very cool. Now what I want to do is a little bit of building. So we've had some problems with the colony. Now that it's up to a certain size, we've started to get some of the Minecolonies annoyances happen, which means our colonists are slowly getting sick. We're also about to get raids, so we're going to need a hospital. Now unfortunately, the hospital requires research at the university. Oh man, and that's something I kind of wanted to avoid, because the second we start building a university is the second this really does become a mine. Oh, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Let's get out. Komarov's Comet, that'll do. Whoops, these ascending blocks sky high. Up you go, and down you come. You too, my friend. Slam. Oh, bit of blood. Yeah, so that's something I want to avoid. While the university from Fairy Tale style does look amazing, Education University, and of course we'll take a look at this at level 3, because why not? Couldn't not do that now that I've mentioned it. Yeah, I mean at level 5, this thing looks like the bee's knees. Look at all that yellow, is that corundum on the roof? Looks really cool. But I'm not quite sure yet. I'm not sure if I want to bite the bullet and build the university, because that's going to be a big step, and that's going to require a lot of space as well. But on the flip side, there is an important building that we're going to need before we even do that, and that's a place for our colonists to eat. So we're going to see if we can find under, is it fundamentals? Yeah, here we go, a restaurant. So what does this thing look like? Well, obviously at level 1 it looks basic as hell. Number 2, a bit more interesting. Ooh, now this looks like a really cool building. I think this is going to look quite nice on the colony. And since this is kind of like the agricultural area, I feel like coming over here to eat is probably a good idea. So let's maneuver this into position and lower it and get this looking nice and cool. And yeah, I think we're going to park this here. We're going to have to build a retaining wall here so that the water doesn't look too weird. But this looks like a pretty good spot for our new restaurant. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing built to level 3. The restaurant is the perfect build this episode. We've got a whole bunch of food now that we've prepared in our kitchen, and with the Whirly Sprig farm working overtime, we can completely fill our colonists' bellies in no time at all. But building a university is going to be a big step, and that's going to take us in a direction of building even more colony buildings. And while this colony style is really cool, Minecolonies is not the focus of what we're doing in this series. In fact, to be honest, food isn't really the focus of what we're doing either, and we need to make sure that going forwards we keep our attention on the magical mods of this pack. We've got to keep our eye on the ball. Now with our colonists, a hospital isn't essential. As far as sickness goes, we can make sure each of our colonists has a full stack of carrots and potatoes, so if they do get the flu, they can solve it there and then themselves. Now the building is a pretty cool one. Level 1 and 2, as usual, are just wooden buildings. Very simple to make. And level 3 looks amazing, but it isn't actually too tricky. There's a lot of glass required for this build, and a lot of weird food that I guess goes inside somewhere, but I do love the round shape. Also, the colours, like the rest of the Fairy Tale style, are rich and vibrant, with this bold purple accenting the building perfectly. And of course, the cherry on top is this fantastic glass dome roof. Doesn't that look amazing? But anyway, that is enough building. Now that the restaurant's finished, let's get in game and set this thing up. So here we go, the finished restaurant. Man, what a beast. I am really pleased with how these Fairy Tale buildings look. Now again, yeah, we've got to fix the side over here because, man, This looks pretty ugly, this overhang over here, but nothing we can't fix with a bit of cobblestone and some wood. Let's check out the inside. Oh, well, yeah, I love that glass dome roof. That looks really impressive. Definitely gets a thumbs up from me. That's pretty cool. Now, these seats are a real menace. This style pack loves to use these seats from Create. And while they're simple to make, every time a guy walks over to them, they kind of just bug out like this. I mean, what's this guy doing? Either way, it looks like Leo Derard is our new chef. At least I think he is. Yeah, here we go, check it out. So our cook is Leo Derard, and our assistant cook is Dwarfius B. Now, because we're level 3 restaurant, we get an assistant cook, but we don't actually need it, because what I'm going to do with the restaurant is not actually prepare any meals. The guys over here are not going to be cooks. Instead, what we're going to do is make all of our food pre-made over at Hell's Kitchen, then bring it over here for the colonists to chow down on. Because we don't have a massive colony, we're not going to need a colossal amount of food. But man, I love the decoration here. I love these steaks and mutton chops and chickens and things on the campfires. Very cool look. I love these crates of carrots, beetroots and potatoes. Looks really good as well. So we'll go into the restaurant, we'll go to the workers, manage workers, and assistant cook. We're going to set this to manual hiring and fire this dude, because we want to save Dwarfius B for another job. But a massive thank you for watching this episode, my dudes. This episode we built Hell's Kitchen, developed some amazing foods, and while those are in my backpack, I'm going to get some hearts up, and that's going to increase my survivability by a huge amount. But until next time, a massive thank you for watching, and take care.
Enter. Ah, initiate Melisandre. A little late in the evening for a visit, isn't it? I trust all is well with your studies?
Master Rigel, sir. Well, I am a little nervous about the Transfiguration exam on Friday, but wait, no, that's not why I'm here. Master Creeptorius sent me. He's detected an unusual arcane signature many leagues to the south. He believes it could be another mage, another powerful mage.
Creeptorius. He has become increasingly paranoid as of late, but these are perilous times. Send one of the new students to investigate. Maybe that bookish one. What was her name again? Dorothy.
Dunsilfrenius, sir. And I'm Maggie, sir. Melisandre fell into a cauldron last week.
Oh, some time in the field would do her some good. Tell her to observe and report only. It could be nothing, but another magic user could help tip the scales in our struggle against the Conclave. We need an edge in this war, or we're doomed.